Today on the College Football Hangover, we're going to the Pac-12 after dark. That's right, baby. We're talking about the Pac-12 after dark. Mostly because, holy crap, I probably had the best game of the week in the Pac-12 after dark. Now, again, a Midwestern guy, go Big Red. You know that I'm not huge into Pac-12 after dark, mostly because by the time some of these games air, it's 9 p.m. And if it's the case of the game that I'm going to be talking about this week, that ended at 1:30 in the morning. So, we had to, do maybe because it's the West Coast, so maybe because it's the Pac-12, you do a bump of cocaine, I don't know, slam a Bang energy drink, and stay up because this game was worth staying up for. The game in question, Washington State takes on UCLA. The Chip Kelly era has not been perfect, has not been starting the way that the Bruins would like. He is 0-3 going into this game, had an atrocious season last year. Go Big Red, I can relate. Difference is, Scott Frost seems to be finally having Nebraska on the right track. Chip Kelly, not so much. You lost to Cincinnati. So the reason why I want to talk about this game is because there's some stats I want to throw out at you. Washington State's quarterback had 9 touchdown passes. How can you throw 9 touchdown passes and your team still manages to lose and blow the game for you? It's unreal. Unbelievable stat to have that. And more power to him. So the story is, at halftime, it was 42-17. Midway to late third quarter, it's 49-17. 49-17. You also have to look at the index. They had a 99% chance of winning. I think it's damn near impossible to lose a football game when they're up 49-17. Luckily for Mike Leach and company, they managed to figure out, hey, anything's possible, especially with Pac-12 after dark. So we start this game off we start the third quarter the same way we ended the first half. We have the 49-17. Then UCLA scores a touchdown, big play, nice job. Then they get the ball back, score again. So now it's 49-31. Okay, we got ourselves a football game. Washington State can't hold on to the football for some reason after they went up 49-17, and now we have another score. It's 49-38. Starting the fourth quarter, UCLA scores again, makes it 49-46. So look at yourselves, Cougar fans. Look at yourself, Mike Leach. Look at yourself, Washington State's quarterback, who I'm going to probably put in later in the edit because I'm too lazy to actually look it up now. Look at the situation you're in. Unbelievable. So UCLA got a good chance. Not so fast. Glad to have touchdown number 8 from Washington State's quarterback to make it 56-46, back to a 10-point lead. Kind of looking like it's going their way. Oh, wait, they don't know how to play defense in the second half. UCLA scores yet again. So now it's 56-53, and then the punt return. There was a punt in this game from Washington State. Unbelievably, in the second half, there was a punt. After dark. So it's 60-56. Not to be outdone, Washington State scores again. Now it's 63-60, and there was a defensive stop in this game. But then maybe the football gods are having too much fun with Pac-12 after dark. Maybe Mike Leach just doesn't want to win this game. I don't know. There's a fumble. And then, of course, UCLA scores and wins the game 67-63, the most Pac-12 game of all time, the most Pac-12 after dark game of all time. I wanted to talk about this right from the jump because to me this was the coolest thing and the best thing of the weekend. A lot of things happened, obviously, but it was the usual suspects. You have Alabama winning big. You have Clemson winning big. You have Ohio State trailed at one point. Yeah, believe it or not, 5-0 at one point. Then scored 76 unanswered points. This wasn't new. This was the story of the weekend. That and, well, I guess something else.
Yeah, we outplayed. Outprepared and outcoached. Outplayed the whole thing. both offensively and defensively. It was thorough. It was they we knew this. We knew it about their team. I mean, if they got the ability, they're good enough. And if they play good enough, they're good enough to beat you thoroughly, and that's what happened today.
Stop me if you heard this before. Jim Harbaugh's got a very hyped Michigan team. They're looking good. This is the year that they leapfrog over Ohio State and finally win the Big Ten East and win the Big Ten and go to a New Year's Six Bowl as Big Ten champs. So you have heard this before. Well, somebody should tell Michigan fans it's not going to happen again. I don't know how this kind of game can happen. Wisconsin comes into this game in Camp Randall. It's a big game for everybody, not just Wisconsin, but Michigan. It's a chance to really get their feet under them. They come off a dramatic, close win against Army. They had a bye week. They had time to prepare for this. Wisconsin had a bye week as well. This is the game. It was Big Noon Saturday, as Fox called it. All the hype. And it was 28-0 at halftime. Then there's Jonathan Taylor, who is the scariest running back in the Big Ten, especially the scariest running back of the Big Ten West, especially if you're a fan of these guys. Go Big Red. It was unbelievable to see a team get that out-coached. I don't even know what to say, other than jump around, I guess. That poor guy. How could you picked a bad seat, man? I'm just going to say that. I mean, of all places to be, you had to just be there. And good work on the camera guy to catch that. Unbelievable. So, I mean, that's really all there is to say. Pac-12 after dark, man. It was crazy. And it's sad. It wouldn't be a really sad situation if it weren't so funny to me to see Michigan get absolutely decimated. And I'm not saying that because, again, I'm a Husker fan and I'm bitter about the drubbing they put on Nebraska last year. And I'm not just saying that because I've never liked Michigan ever. But I think it's just really sad because I can see this future. I've mentioned it before on the Loud Sports podcast. I could see this future with Scott Frost where we bring in a former player, bring him back to the university. He was a star quarterback. And all this hype behind him where he's had success in other places. And people really believe in this guy and put all their faith in him. And he just can't win the big one. I mean, his record speaks for itself. He hasn't beat Ohio State, has only won, I think, one game against Michigan State, and has a terrible record against top 10 teams and just the top 25 in general. It's scary, and I feel for that. And it's not, again, sympathy for Michigan. It's sympathy for Nebraska because it could very well happen to us. And that brings me to my next point. Jim Harbaugh, you did it, buddy. You're the hack of the week. And, of course, best of the week, I got to give it to my man, Jonathan Taylor. I'm just saying that so he'll be nice to Nebraska's defense because, good Lord Almighty, if Nebraska plays like any way they did in Champaign, then Jonathan Taylor is going to just have a career day, and that happens a lot to Nebraska. So Jonathan Taylor had 143 yards, 2 touchdowns in 1 half of football. One! And that was against Michigan, who supposedly had this great defense. So, Jonathan Taylor, you are best of the week. This has been another episode. You thought I wasn't going to do it, but I am. Let's talk about Go Big Red. I don't want to change out of the shirt. I like the vibe of the Pac-12 After Dark Hawaiian shirt, so I'm going to keep with it. Let's talk about Nebraska. Finally, Nebraska won a game in red pants. The first time they'd won a game wearing the red pants, being the away team since 2017. That's right, Scott Frost did not win a road game last year. Came close in a few instances, but did not win a road game at all. And then, of course, we all know about that debacle in Boulder earlier this year. So this was a big win for Nebraska. This was important. Number 900. I think it was huge for them because, as I said, not a very good road team recently. And it's going to kind of restore their faith a little bit. And because of that, we lead into game day. College game day is going to be in Lincoln for the matchup against Ohio State. And as much as I would love to be hyped and excited about it, I am absolutely terrified. Because whenever the national stage is on Nebraska, they lose. They get blown out. They get destroyed. It's just disgusting, and I'm afraid. And it's sad. It really is, because it's good, and it's sad at the same time because it's making me so incredibly cynical. Where I want the best, and I'm very excited for College game day. It's a hyped up matchup, It's a Saturday night football game. The game's kicking off at 6:30 local time. It's going to be exciting. There's a lot going into this, and I very well know what could happen because the last 3 matchups against Ohio State, they've scored, I think, a combined almost 200 points, and 2 of those 3 games were blowouts. So excuse me if I'm not very optimistic about game day being in Lincoln, but I love to be wrong. In this case, the only time I love to be wrong is about the Huskers, and I have fingers crossed that the gods of college football will at the very least give us a competitive football game. Please. Also, shout out to Brock Purdy breaking the single game record set by Seneca Wallace. I thought it was a little disrespectful because Seneca was in the building to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, the Iowa State Hall of Fame, and he breaks his record. So, kind of disrespectful. Put up 72 points, so that's awesome. Good for them. And that's about it, folks. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the College Football Hangover. Coming at you every single week. We're breaking down the biggest headlines in college football, or in this case, talking about the crazy world of Pac-12 after dark. Go Big Red. Hopefully game day made a good choice. I'm 0-1 right now on teams that I want to win when game day comes through. So maybe we can make it to 500. Praying. But thank you so much. Once again, hit that like button if you like it. Hit thumbs down if you don't. That's all right. Subscribe to Loud and Opinionated. Check out the podcast that we do, Loud and Opinionated Podcast Family. We got Loud Sports, we got Batcast, Super Cynical Cinema, and of course the Jake Williams Show. Or if you just want to watch this show and subscribe because of that, thank you anyway. And I'll catch you next Monday.